turning your haters into great customers. Wouldn't that be good? Yeah, so I'll tell you how to do it. It's John, it's the Marketing for Owners podcast, the home of the Owners Club, and specifically the Owners Club Gold. If you have not been to see what it is, then if you think of some of the well-known entrepreneurial groups, and there are many online superstars who offer this kind of thing, it's that, but a fraction of the price. Everyone else seems to be $100, $99, $97 a month, etc., etc. £29 per month is not a lot, and I guarantee, unlike everyone else, you'll get me, not just perhaps me, not just me in group calls, me one-to-one when you need me, when I'm available. One says 10,000 members. Of course, I might not be available all the time, but there aren't. So give it a try. What have you got to lose? Hey, join for a month. If you didn't like it, if you thought it was rubbish, garbage, just let me know. I'll give you all your money back. It's £29 per month. If you want to grow your business, if you want to know what I know, if you want a sounding board, an ideas person to bounce ideas off, to just, who else do you know that is an internet marketing expert or e-commerce expert who actually runs his own businesses, sells over a couple of million quid's worth of stuff online every year, year after year? Do you think I could help? I reckon I can. Anyway, enough of that. That is what I generally do. But there's loads of free information like this. So in your business, you will have haters. Our haters will be in probably two forms. One, competitors who hate what you do. And second one, customers who think they hate you. So let me explain. So let's do the customer first. Firstly, sometimes customers, clients, whichever way you call them, will be having a bad day. Now, it is nothing to do with anything that you have done. Sometimes people have pressures. A time when I'm recording this is around the end of the tax year in the UK, all sorts of things. Who knows? And it can affect some of their decisions and their mood on the day. Customers are humans, the same as the rest of us. And sometimes you may get the brunt of that. They may be ready to complain. Have you ever been in that position where it's all boiling up and someone does something wrong and you just have a right old go at them when you wouldn't normally? Well, that can happen. So first of all, you have to take the assumption that it wasn't your fault. That's very important. Now, of course, if they are complaining vehemently about something that was your fault, where you did it wrong, then it is your fault. You have to accept responsibility. And this is essential. This is how you turn haters into lifelong customers in both respects. So whether they're just blaming you for something that you didn't do wrong, don't go all defensive and say, it wasn't my fault, it wasn't. You need to word it in ways of, I'm very sorry we've made you feel like that way, and we will do anything to change your mind and to make it up to you. In the case when you've done something wrong, for instance, in our case, we do next day delivery. Quite often, the carriers, our delivery people, way out of our control. Once they've got the goods, we'll mess them up, drop them, lose them, send them to the wrong delivery address, send them to the delivery address, put them with a neighbour and not put a card through the door, deliver them a day late, all kinds of things. It's not our fault. But hey, when the customer needed it that day, yes, it's our fault. Yes, we take responsibility. So when that customer complains, we will do anything to make them feel better. Now, we have spent money in some way, shape or form, whether it's in time, in some way, we have spent money to acquire that person's business. If, say they spent £50 and we make £25 profit on that job, then if it would have cost an amount of money to get their business, say it cost £10, had they not bought anything, we would be £10 down. So at this point, we can afford to just give them stuff back, and we still wouldn't be that far out in our loss. Of all your customers, I mean, for us, we get over 100 orders a day. So we take the thought that if we've got one customer upset, if we let them keep the goods and gave them all their money back, we can afford that. Now, how do you think that customer's going to feel? Are they going to feel angry, or are they going to start to turn around? And what's going to happen when at a dinner party, at a group, when somebody complains about some company, about telephone company or something like that? What do you think this guy's going to say, or this lady? They're going to say, hey, I tell you what, I bought some fire extinguishers or whatever it is from some company, and they did all this, it was wrong, and I phoned up and moaned. Do you know what they did? Not only did they let me keep it, but they gave me all my money back. Isn't that fantastic? Now, what kind of service is that? Why don't other people act like that? Etc., etc. You may not believe this, but that tells me that you've never tried it. You are accustomed to standard, what I would call British customer service, which may be okay, but it's certainly not American, it's certainly not Canadian, it's certainly not Australian, and it's certainly not South African. The quality of service you get in other countries outside of Europe is so immeasurably higher. It's genuine and it's heartfelt, and it's all down to company culture. That's another thing. But I suggest you try it. If you've got a turnover of $100,000, pounds, whatever, if one customer is worth £100, what would it harm you to give them their money back? What are you thinking? Pride? No, you don't want to give in? Is that pride? Think about it. I think it might be. I think is that a seven deadly sins? Something like that. So just think about it, because you are going to convert the customer into a lover. And they're going to be a lover, not a hater. And that's a good thing, because that hater could know a lot of people. And when they tweet out and they tell about it, wouldn't you just be surprised to find out how many people retweet that, and then suddenly you're featured in an article in a magazine about bad customer service. How did it all go wrong? Wouldn't you like to try and avoid it? Now, I'm just going to very quickly cover your competitors, because although they're not going to become lifelong customers, but you want them to think, gosh, they're good. When competitors complain about what you do, all you need to do is contact them, be brave, and offer to go and meet them. Offer to go and have a coffee. Buy them a coffee, buy them a lunch. Meet them, explain what you do, explain how your company works, and say, I'm sorry, but this, in my feeling, this is the way the business is going, and explain things. You will convert that person to be a lover, not like that, but they'll like you. And then when this comes up, when your company gets discussed or badmouthed at other places, you'll find your friend, who is no longer a competitor, they're now a friend in the trade, they will come to your defense. They'll say, oh no, well, other companies are like that, but this one, I happen to personally know the guy, and no, they're not like that. Sorry, but you have to put yourself out. Remember, when you're trying to get customers, you spend money on advertising, or you spend money in your time to get them. So why not spend money in giving free goods or gifts as compensation? And why not spend your time in speaking to them to turn them around? Yeah, that's how it works. Think about it. Honestly, it's really, really good. If you could find our ratings online, you find every single badmouth thing. We apologize to people, and we accept responsibility, and we tell them that we have since phoned them and done whatever they asked. And you'll be amazed how many people go back in and change the rating and says, I did originally give them, but we've changed this to 5 stars because I've never found customer service like that. This works, my friends. Anyway, just a quick one on podcasts. It is Drive Time podcast recommendation. And today I'm going to recommend The Digital Entrepreneur. Now this is one from Brian Clark's studio, from Rainmaker FM, but just look up The Digital Entrepreneur. He has all sorts of guests on. Now I actually think he may have stopped recording these from December in 2016. However, the archive is still there, and the podcast is the gift that keeps giving because the information is not going out of fashion. He's fantastic. He gets great guests. They give great interviews. Well worth a listen, no matter who's on it. Go back through the archive. You will love it. Promise. Anyway, and don't forget tomorrow's one to watch interview. It's a surprise. You'll like it. Don't miss the Fridays. Okay, see you soon.